Okay, introducing next on my show, we have a special guest all the way across from the United States. We have Misty Lemmond joining me on my show. Great to have you on my show, Misty. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Danny. How are you doing
Yeah,
today?
I'm good. How is yourself?
I could be a little bit better. I have a cold, but all is good otherwise.
Sure, sure. A lot of it going around at this time of year, isn't there?
Oh, yes. Always around the holidays, isn't
Well,
it?
speaking of holidays, you've got an exciting collection of songs you have just released, which we're going to talk
Yes.
about. I just wanted to ask you, what part of, I know you're in the States at the moment, what part are you based in?
I'm in the southeast. Do you know where the Nashville area is?
Yeah, sure.
Um, yeah, I'm about an hour south of Nashville in northern Alabama.
Oh, nice. So we are based in Birmingham. So I'm guessing that you're not too far from your Birmingham in Alabama.
Nope, I'm an hour north from my Birmingham.
Oh, brilliant.
Quite funny.
And you always hear about that in your songs, don't you? Sweet Home Alabama and so on. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Cool, cool. And you are a musician, a composer, an instrumentalist. Do you also do a bit of singing as well, or is kind of like being an instrumentalist the main bit you do?
I do a little bit of singing, but I've been more focused on being an instrumentalist. I feel like that's my strong point. But I do have a history, of singing in choir, various choirs in the past. And actually, the very first demo that I ever put out several years ago was of me singing and playing piano. But I'm too embarrassed to share that.
Ah,
So,
okay, that's fair enough. And also, what instruments do you play?
the piano, I can play the xylophone, the bells, the chimes, a little bit of guitar.
That's cool. Some nice festive instruments there.
Yeah, yeah. It's good to mix it up.
Yeah, brilliant. You've just released a collection of Christmas songs. What I like about your collection is, everyone releases Christmas albums, but you've gone that extra mile. You've done the songs that not everyone else covers.
Yeah, I want it to be unique. I felt like if I released something that was slightly different, that maybe I would stand out a little bit more.
That's fine. And I like the We Three Kings of Oriental. I remember growing up, we used to have like school lessons playing the piano or piano tuitions. That was one of my favourites.
Oh, yes. And that was actually the first one that I had arranged for this album, the very first piece. And it's one of my favorites too, if I'm going to be honest
Mm.
about it.
Mm. Another one of my favourites. I'm not sure if it's on your LP, but once in Royal David City.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I didn't catch that.
another one which is one of my favourites, but I'm not sure if it's on your EP. Is Once in Royal David City.
No, that one's not on it, but I do have a little town of Bethlehem.
Mm.
It's
Uh,
a medley.
oh, that's quite clever how you've combined the two tracks as well.
Yeah, I just thought I'd do something different. I noticed like if I put them in the same key, then I can kind of blend them together and
Mm.
it kind of spiced it up a little bit.
And just looking ahead, how has this album been received so far?
So far, really, really nicely. I have been getting messages from people all around the world saying how they're listening to my music. They'll send me pictures of them, of their radio in their cars, listening to it. It's been received very well, I believe, in my opinion, and I'm very pleased with that.
That's great. Good for you. And also, going on to looking ahead, really down the line. But would this give you inspiration to do another album, say next year or the year after?
Yes, well, actually, I have been challenged with releasing a Valentine's Day album. So that's about 3 months
Mm,
away.
mm. So I'm guessing there'll
So
be love songs and ballads on that one.
you got that right.
Right, brilliant, brilliant. That's fantastic. And also, do you enjoy like gigging? Do you get a chance to kind of play live or your
Yes,
material?
I do actually. I perform a lot in churches. I also perform in local concert venues and things of that degree. Like
Mm.
if we have music festivals in the Nashville, Huntsville area, I'll perform in those.
Cool. And what's the scene like where you are? Just looking on the map where you are, you've got some quite recognizable towns and cities.
Music around here is very lively.
Mm,
Like everyone loves music. Like Huntsville, it's turning into a music city in northern Alabama. Nashville, as you know, is a huge music city. So anytime anyone is playing live music in my area, it's usually very well received.
Great. And how was music something you always wanted to do? Were you just born to
Yes,
do it?
yes, actually. My grandparents actually have a home video of me at age 2, dancing and singing and telling my grandfather to sing with me. Um, but I started taking piano lessons for my 9th birthday, and I got angry at my parents one day, and it was about a year later, because I wanted to quit. And then they wouldn't let me quit. And I got so angry, I wrote my first song.
That's
And
great.
the rest is history.
What's your advice to people who want to play a musical instrument, but sometimes they get frustrated and they may want to like give up?
Well, getting frustrated is a normal part of the process, because when you start learning a new instrument, at first it's fun and it's something new and exciting, but then there's a lot of work that goes into it. Once you get past a certain point, you have to memorize, certain, finger movements on the instrument itself, and you have to practice and create these motor skills. So my advice would be to just work through the frustration, take a break if you need to, but don't give it up. Like, go back to it, because you'll eventually get past that point. You'll have a breakthrough. And then you'll be like, why did I even consider quitting?
Some good advice there. Well, like about the Christmas songs as well, because I used to have a level of degree of playing piano in my younger years, not so much now.
Oh, I love it.
But I like the way Christmas carols were a great way to get into playing the piano, because they make some of these piano books, they make it just a bit more easier to read and play.
Yes,
Do you find that?
I agree. I do. I do. Christmas music is wonderful for someone who's learning to play the piano. Even when I was younger and I first started taking lessons, I remember every year we would have a piano recital based on Christmas music, and it's something, it's a tune that you can recognize. And when you realize that you can emulate that tune, that melody, it just draws you in even more, makes it fun.
And being a composer, a pianist, or a musician, is it something that just comes naturally to you? Some pianists need the sheet music, which is fair enough, but can you also memorize, the Christmas music as well?
Yeah, I can memorize the Christmas music because it's well known. As far as, like, if I'm going to sit down and play a work by Beethoven, I'll memorize it, but it's not easy. I have to work at memorizing it. But when it comes to composing my own pieces, I don't know I guess it comes naturally to me because I have it memorized. Like, it kind of wigs me out at how much of my own music I have memorized. But yeah, if it's my own music, I have it memorized. If it's someone else's music, I have to practice it to memorize it.
And they say, like, playing an instrument or any trade, practice makes perfect. Would you agree with that?
Yes. I would agree with that, because the more that you sit down to work on something, you're honing in on those motor skills, and it's muscle memory. So the more you do it, the more your mind and your body's going to memorize it, and it's like getting on a bicycle, after you've not been on it for so many years. You get on it again and you still remember how to do it. It's the same concept with music.
That's true. Just wrapping up the interview now, where can people find you on, like, social media? I know you're across several platforms.
Yes. I'm most active on Facebook and Twitter. On Facebook, I'm on there as Misty Lemmond, pianist and composer. On Twitter, or X, whichever. I'm still not used to calling it that. I'm on there just as Misty Lemmond. The @sign at the Misty Brook.
Brilliant. Well, this interview goes really quickly, but I just want to say thank you, Misty, for joining me for a chat. And I'm just going to play.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'm just going to play one of your tracks from the album, perhaps one of the tracks we've touched on today's interview. And good luck with this album, and happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays as well. Merry Christmas from here in the UK.
Yes. Same to you. Happy holidays. Thank you very much.
All the best.